Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasavi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are going to continue reading today from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3, Chapter 16, Text 32. So reading on. Dvahastav Adishya Bhagwan Vimana Shreni Bhushanam Sarvati Shaya Lakshmya Justam Swam Dishnyam Avishat. After thus speaking at the door of Vaikuntha, the Lord returned to his abode, where there are many celestial airplanes and all surpassing wealth and splendor. It is clear from this verse that all the incidents took place at the entrance of Vaikuntha Loka. In other words, the sages were not actually within Vaikuntha Loka, but were at the gate. It could be asked, how could they return to the material world if they entered Vaikuntha Loka? But factually, they did not enter, and therefore they returned. There are many similar incidents where great yogis and brahmanas, by dint of their yoga practice, have gone from this material world to Vaikuntha Loka. But they were not meant to stay there. They came back. It is also confirmed here that the Lord was surrounded by many Vaikuntha airplanes. Vaikuntha Loka is described here as having splendid opulence far surpassing the splendor of this material world. So here, the clarification, Prabhupada is clarifying for us in his purport that because we read in this text that all these incidents happened at the door of Vaikuntha. We heard before it was at the seventh door. At the seventh door. So Prabhupada is giving us a more clearer picture that it's still at the entrance. The four Kumaras did not actually enter Vaikuntha. They were just at the door. And so that's how they return back to the material world. Because Krishna says one who comes to Vaikuntha never goes back again, never goes back to the material world. So what is being said is that if someone is not qualified, then they cannot enter Vaikuntha. And once one reaches Vaikuntha, no need to come back to the material world. So we should be assured, okay, once we go, we will not come back. You know, yesterday Guru Maharaj's Vyasa Puja message Guru Maharaj's Vyasa Puja's message was continue to hear the pastimes of Radha and Krishna from Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, from the Krishna book, from Caitanya Charitamrita, and somehow or the other get attached to going back home, back to Godhead. Maybe we get attached to going to the one of the Vaikuntha planets where Lord Narayan is there, or maybe we get attached to going to the Navadvip part of the spiritual world where Lord Chaitanya is continuously doing his Harinam Sankirtan, or maybe we get attached to going to Krishna Lok, Golok Vrindavan, where Sri Krishna is performing his beautiful Vrindavan pastimes, or Dwarka pastimes, or Mathura pastimes. He said, but just get that attachment somehow or the other, get that desire that I don't want to come back to this material world again. I want to go back home, back to Godhead, go to the spiritual world. So all other living creatures, including the demigods, are born from Brahma, and Brahma is born of Lord Vishnu. So all other living creatures, including the demigods, are born of Brahma, and Brahma is born of Lord Vishnu. We can see we are all living creatures. No matter how great we are in this world, whatever circle of influence we have. We could have a small circle of influence or a really great circle of influence. We are all coming from Brahmaji. And even the demigods, they have greater influence than us. Much greater power than us, the demigods have. They are also coming from Brahmaji. And where is Brahmaji coming from? He is coming from Lord Vishnu, from the Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And then what does Krishna state? Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita in the 10th chapter, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaha. Lord Vishnu is the origin of all manifestations in the material world. Krishna is saying, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaha. Everything emanates from me. Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaha. Everything is coming from me. Lord Vishnu is the origin of all manifestations in the material world. Those who know that Lord Vishnu is the origin of everything, who are conversant with the process of creation, and who understand that Vishnu or Krishna is the most worshipable object of all living entities, engage themselves in Vishnu worship as Vaishnavas. So Krishna says that once one understands that he is the origin, everything is coming from him. He's the cause of all causes, Sarva Karana Karanam. Because we, I don't know if you all have ever wondered, oh, where is everything coming from? Why am I here in this material world? What's happening? When am I going to go from here? You know, so but the answer is given here in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, that it's Krishna who's the origin of everything. And then, so what do? We have a loving relationship with him. He's the most worshipable object of all living entities. Now, it's not said that Krishna is worshipable only for certain community of people, certain race of people, certain gender of people. No, all living entities, each and every one of us. So it's not that Krishna consciousness is secularism, you know? What do you say? I'm sorry, what does it mean? That it's a groupism, sacred.
It's a sect. No.
Yeah, it's not that. It's meant for everyone. Thank you. It's for everyone. No, it's not just limited, oh, that because I'm from a certain place, only I should worship Krishna. No, Krishna is the origin of everyone and everything. So the Vedic hymns also confirm this, Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. The goal of life is to understand Vishnu. Now the Vedic hymns, what are the Vedic hymns say? The goal of life. We make so many goals, you know, we make so many goals. We make personal, physical goals, or financial goals, or, you know, personal improvement goals, relationship goals. But actually, what is the supreme goal? What's the supreme goal? We forget that. Sure, we need to make all those goals because we are in the body. So we need to, adjust here, living here. But what's the supreme goal? The supreme goal is to understand Vishnu. And understand in truth, not what we think, oh, God should be like this. According to me, God should be like this. According to me, God must do this. Why God must do something which is according to our tiny brain, which is material? God is completely spiritual. The Bhagavatam also confirms this elsewhere. Foolish people, not knowing that Vishnu is the supreme worshipable object, create so many worshipable objects in this material world, and therefore they fall down. He's the supreme worshipable object. Yeah, so we tend to worship so many different things or so many different people, and that's why we get distracted. And then we are not being focused, that no, this is the way. I need to do this. I need to get out of this material world. That's what Guru Maharaj also said, that we should take up this process with firm faith. Firm faith. There is nothing else in this material world for me to do. There is nothing else. There is nothing for me to enjoy in this material world. Take up this Krishna consciousness with firm faith, determination, enthusiasm, and hear and chant. Is that okay? Any comments or questions? I'm not sure. Sneha, are you saying something? I couldn't hear if you were saying.
No,
Oh,
nothing.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that verse is there, from the Brahma Samhita, the beginning. Ishwara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadi Adi Govinda, Sarva Karana Karana. So it clearly says, that Krishna is the cause of all causes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. So, tu girvana rishabho dustara dhari lokataha atashriyo brahma shapad abhutam vigatasmay yo. But those two gatekeepers, the best of the demigods, their beauty and luster diminished by the curse of the Brahmanas, became morose and fell from Vaikuntha, the abode of the Supreme Lord. So we can see that in Vaikuntha, there is no moroseness, there is no sadness. Everyone is very beautiful there. Bodies are shining, luster, feel good just being in Vaikuntha. In the material world, here in the material world, for us to become happy, we have to endeavor, we have to do some things to become happy. And we see that the endeavor we do and the happiness that we get in return, we put in too much endeavor and the happiness we get is little. But in Vaikuntha, just by being there, we feel happy because the nature of Vaikuntha is Satchid Ananda. And that's the nature. Just by being there, we'll be happy. Tada Vaikuntha Dishana Tayor Nipatamanayo Haha Karo Mahan Asid Vimana Grayeshu Putrakaha. Then, as Jay and Vijay fell from the Lord's abode, a great row of disappointment arose from all the demigods who were sitting in their splendid airplanes. So there are airplanes in the Vaikuntha, not that there's airplanes only here in the material world. And the airplanes in Vaikuntha, we heard, are made of gold and lapis lazuli and so many emeralds and rubies and diamonds, and each person has their aeroplane, personal jet. Here, how many people can afford a personal jet? We go to Vaikuntha, can have more opulence, can enjoy more riches in Vaikuntha Loka. So just somehow or the other, we have to get attracted. Oh, let me go to Vaikuntha. So there's more enjoyment in Vaikuntha. There's higher degree of pleasure in Vaikuntha. We can enjoy unlimitedly over there. Tav eva hi aduna prapto parshada pravaro harehe dipter jathara nirvishtam kashyapam teja ulbanam. Lord Brahma continued, those two principal doorkeepers of the personality of Godhead have now entered the womb of Diti, the powerful semen of Kashyap Muni having covered them. So this Brahmaji started narrating this because suddenly it had become dark and the demigods were wondering what happened, what happened. So they had gone to Brahmaji to ask him. So that's why he's narrating. So now he's coming back to that point that, oh, those Jai Vijay, the doorkeepers of the Supreme Lord, now they are in the womb of Diti. Here is a clear proof of how a living entity coming originally from Vaikuntha Lok is engaged in material elements. The living entity takes shelter within the semen of a father, which is injected within the womb of a mother. And with the help of the mother's emulsified ovum, the living entity grows a particular type of a body. So how Jai Vijaya came? They came from Vaikuntha. So now, because they are come into the semen of Kashyap Muni, and from semen of Kashyap Muni into the womb of Diti. In this connection, it is to be remembered that the mind of Kashyap Muni was not in order when he conceived the two sons, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Therefore, the semen he discharged was simultaneously extremely powerful and mixed with the quality of anger. It is to be concluded that while conceiving a child, one's mind must be very sober and devotional. So our consciousness, while we want to conceive a child, is also very important, that what kind of a soul are we going to attract? You know, many people think that the child in the womb does not have life. And it's only after 3 months or 5 months that the child becomes alive and has a soul. No, it's from the very beginning. The soul is there in the semen, you know, and so that's why it is said that Garbhadan Samskar. Now we'll read. For this purpose, the Garbhadan Samskar is recommended in the Vedic scriptures. If the mind of the father is not sober, the semen discharged will not be very good. Thus, the living entity wrapped in the matter produced from the father and mother will be demoniac like Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. The conditions of conception are to be carefully studied. This is a very great science. So now this is the main cause. Then we say, oh, why there is so much unrest in people right now? Why society is like that? Because we have to see, who are we attracting? What is our own consciousness? If we ourselves are angry, we ourselves are hankering so much, then we are attracting those kind of souls to be a part of this earth. You know, and then of course, then the activities accordingly will happen according to whatever is our consciousness. So that's the reason a Garbhadan Samskar is recommended, so that we can bring forth good children, devotee children, children with divine qualities. Is that okay?
Yes, and we read earlier, right, that it said that the tea wanted to have the intercourse at the wrong time.
Yes.
She urged,
Yes.
post Kashyap Muni.
Yeah, so we can see, you know, how Krishna arranges the whole thing. See, now why is his mood angry? Now, Kashyap Muni is a great Prajapati, right? It's a great sage. Now, suddenly, why is he in an angry mood? He was doing tapasya. He was doing his meditation. But as you rightly pointed out, because Diti was telling him, no, come, we need to have children now. And he's like, no, but it's not the right time. You know, it's evening time. Lord Shiva is there. It's not a good time. So how Krishna arranges the whole thing, you know, how we are all instruments. So how Kashyap Muni became an instrument so that Jai Vijay could come as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So it depends what kind of instrument we want to be. It's very difficult for us to accept that we are the instrument, because we think I'm the doer. It's because of me everything's happening. That's the reason we are in the material world. But if we try to understand that I'm an instrument. Let me try to be an instrument of love. Let me try to be an instrument of mercy and compassion. Then Krishna will use us in that way. So, like if we are a scissor, then the surgeon is going to use us to cut things, right? If we are a needle and a thread, then the surgeon is going to use us to sew things, right? So then what's inside us, what are we doing? And then Krishna uses us as that instrument. Like he says to Krishna, Arjun in the Bhagavad Gita, I've already killed these people. It's not that if you're not going to fight, these people are not going to die. I've already killed them. But you be an instrument for me, and you take up your weapon and fight, and you will achieve glory. You will become glorious. Till today, we are talking about Arjuna, and he's like a role model, and people want to follow how he is. So like that. What do you all think? Any comments?
No comments, but yeah, this is very, very important thing that you mentioned. Very important, like the conscious that we have, not only during that time, but every time our conscious should be good, pure, and as a devotee. So yes, that is very, very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we know that the souls are in the semen of the man, right?
That's how the soul is entering into the womb of the mother. That's how the child is developing, through the semen. Because, I never knew. I used to think, the old parents or grandparents, they would say, oh, child does not have soul first. No, only after 3 months, the soul comes in the child. Because they themselves don't know, they're misguided. But now by hearing Bhagavatam, then we understand,
So there must be so many souls, right? Which particular soul enters the womb of the mother, right?
Yes. Yes. And they're all fighting for survival. So we can see in the material world, the fight for survival is even if you are in the sperm stage, not yet a body stage, right? They all want to get into a body. So they're all competing. Who's going to go now?
And all this is planned. It's all like, right. Yeah. Which child we get, right?
Yeah. See, now Kashyap Muni, he's such a great Prajapati, but then how come his children became demoniac? So how Krishna is directing the whole thing, and we think, I'm doing it, The only choice we have is, do I choose Krishna or do I choose to forget Krishna? That's the choice.
I think that's why they say Durlabh Manav Janma. Because as you said, that how many souls are fighting, so it's such a rare to get a human form, and how we are wasting it.
Yeah, and also if you're in the semen of a human being, suppose you're in the semen of a pig, then you will become a pig, right? And because human being is only 400,000 species, 8 million is other species, animals and plants and, trees, all the others.
Yeah.
It's only 400,000. So what's the percentage? So, yeah, Durlabha Manav, yes, so appropriate. So that's why Bhagavatam, Prabhupada is writing here, the conditions of conception are to be carefully studied. This is a very great science. But we don't, we are not taught these things, but it's all there. So if you all know somebody wants to have children, you all can suggest them these things. Chapter 16, text 36. Yeah, chapter 16, text 36. Tayor asura yor adyate jasayam yor hiva akshiptam teja etar hi bhagvam stad vidhit sati. It is the prowess of these twin asuras, demons, that has disturbed you, for it has minimized your power. There is no remedy within my power, however, for it is the Lord himself who desires to do all this. So Brahmaji is saying it's the plan of the Lord. I can't do anything. He wants it this way. Although Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, formerly Jaya and Vijaya, became asuras, the demigods of this material world could not control them. And therefore, Lord Brahma said that neither he nor all the demigods could counteract the disturbance they created. They came within the material world by the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he alone could counteract such disturbances. In other words, although Jaya and Vijaya assumed the bodies of asuras, they remained more powerful than anyone, thus proving that the Supreme Personality of Godhead desired to fight because the fighting spirit is also within him. So Brahmaji is saying all the demigods were already afraid. Now they're not even come out of the womb. They're still in the womb and the demigods are already afraid. Just imagine. And then Brahmaji is also saying, I can't control them. So only who can control them? The Supreme Lord. Means only he has to come to this material world to be able to control these Jaya and Vijaya. So now what is the point being raised here? Prabhupada is trying to explain to us what is Bhagavatam saying. Bhagavatam is saying that Krishna also has the desire to fight. He also has a desire to fight because he is the original in everything. But when he desires to fight, he must fight with a devotee. So it's not that, oh, we have the desire to fight and God doesn't have. Then that means we become greater than God. If I have something that God doesn't have, then am I greater than God? But we are not greater than God. All these emotions are there in the Supreme Lord. Therefore, by his desire only were Jaya and Vijaya cursed by the Kumaras. The Lord ordered the gatekeepers to go down to the material world to become his enemies so that he could fight with them and his fighting desires would be satisfied by the service of his personal devotees. So Krishna is always surrounded by his close associates, his confidential associates, his devotees. Because if somebody is not his devotee and he is telling them, okay, you go now to the material world, you act in this role. Jaya Vijaya, you act as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. And somebody is not a devotee, they'll say, Krishna, I don't want to act in that way. I don't want to. I'm going to do my own thing. So that is we. That is we. Why you want to fight? You desire to fight, right? You find somebody else. Why should I come and fight with you? I want to do my own thing. I want to do this. Then he's like, okay, then you go do this. Then, of course, he's going to choose a devotee who's going to listen to him. Does that make sense? Yeah, like a director, if he's going to make a movie, then the actors have to listen to the director. But if each actor will say, I'm going to do my thing, then the director will say, okay, you go make your own movie then. You go out of the set. I'm going to get somebody else. And so that's what we are trying to do. We are all trying to make our own movies. We are saying, I'm going to be the director. And then, but because we are trying to do something we are not, then that becomes a struggle for existence. Then comes all the pressure and stress and karshati to maintain the status quo. Does that make sense? I mean, these are just a few of my realizations, but you all can add or, improve them or correct me or whatever.
And Krishna also says, right, that yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati. So when he comes, when there is loss of religion,
yes.
So that is also mentioned.
Yes.
So,
yes. See, yes. Thank you. Yes. Yada yada hi dharmasya. He's saying whenever there is a religion, I come to establish the religious principles. I come to annihilate the demoniac. And
so he had the desire to fight, and then this is the way he. Okay.
And also to show, that, okay, maintain religious principles, it's something for us to learn also, right? That don't get demoniac qualities. You cultivate the divine qualities. The choice is there. There is demoniac qualities also. Not that it's not there. It's there. But you choose the divine qualities. Yeah. Interesting point you brought up. Yeah. So Brahma showed the demigods that the situation created by the darkness for which they were disturbed was the desire of the Supreme Lord. He wanted to show that even though these two attendants were coming in the forms of demons, they were very powerful, greater than the demigods who could not control them. No one can surpass the acts of the Supreme Lord. So no one, so even Lord Shiva couldn't control these demons, not Brahmaji. No. Now they're coming into the area of Brahma's jurisdiction. This universe is under Brahma's control. Huh? So everything should act according to Brahmaji's plan. But he's like, no, my control is limited. I can't control the Lord. He wants these demons to come here and fight, and he wants to come and fight. I can't help. I can't tell him, no, don't come. We can see that the Supreme Lord is the owner of everything. That's why he can come and go as he pleases, you know. We can come and go into our house and whenever we please. Nobody can stop us. So the demigods were also advised not to try to counteract this incident because it was ordered by the Lord. Similarly, anyone who is ordered by the Lord to perform some action in this material world, especially his preaching glories, cannot be counteracted by anyone. The will of the Lord is executed under all circumstances. So it is Krishna's desire that Harinam Sankirtan go on in this Kali Yuga. We just have to become the instrument. Krishna has already said, oh, Harinam is going to be there in Kali Yuga for 10,000 years. Now, do we want to be a part of that, of Krishna's desire? You know, do we want to be an instrument in this, spreading the holy name? It's just that. And we should try to be. This is Lord Chaitanya's Ras Leela going on, the Sankirtana movement. Because of our lusty mind, we think Ras Leela is only when Krishna is enjoying with the gopis. You know, it immediately Ras Leela comes there. But what does Ras mean? Ras means mellow, you know, mellow, the love. And then Leela means pastime. So all this is Krishna's loving pastimes. He loves us so much. He's saying, come back to me. By chanting Hare Krishna, you're being with me. Come back to me. This is Krishna's loving pastime. So here, anyway, of course, here Prabhupada is speaking, who's ordered by the Lord. Like Krishna, he sends his personal associates that you go. The acharyas, they are Krishna, they are specially ordered by Krishna to come here. Krishna sends the acharyas time and time again to preach the glories of the Lord and tell us to go back home. Is that okay?
Yeah. Like I remember how Parikshit Maharaj did nothing to Kali because he knew that he was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And as a great devotee, he gave what was required to give to Kali at that time.
Yeah, very good point. Yes, very good point. Yeah.
So I think only great devotees can understand this. Who are great, they know that it is the will, like as Brahmaji understands that this is the will of Krishna. So only a great devotee can understand this. Otherwise, all of us are trying to fight against it, that no, I want to do it my way. But a great devotee knows that there is no use fighting, just accept.
Yes, very good realization. Yeah. Yeah, and so that's the reason we need to approach the devotees, because we get baffled, you know, hey, what's happening? Now the sea of the demigods, if they did not approach Brahmaji and they were trying to do whatever, they would put in their efforts to try to stop this. Then, as you said, baffled, right? But now they went to Brahmaji. So very good point. So then we don't know what's happening or what's Krishna's will. And we need to approach the devotees because they can understand, they can guide us. Very good. So that we don't get disturbed, all for our benefit. Any other point? Or?
No.
Anyone else wanted to share anything or add anything?
I think we just have only one more, and then this canto will be finished.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
But then I'm not sure if Sneha has the time. You know?
Oh, okay. I mean, you can ask her, because we just have one more shloka, because I have the book, I have the in my hand. So it is just this is the last shloka, and then we finish this canto.
This chapter.
Yeah, yeah.
Sneha ji has time, then we can finish.
Yeah, yeah.
this
Okay.
canto.
Yeah, let's.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So then text 37. Vishvasya yaha sthiti layod bhava hetur adyo yogeshwarer api duratyaya yogamayah shemam vidhasyati sano bhagvam stritra trayadishas tatra madhya vimrishena kiyan ithartaha. My dear sons, the Lord is the controller of the three modes of nature and is responsible for the creation, preservation, and dissolution of the universe. His wonderful creative power, Yogamaya, cannot be easily understood even by the masters of yoga. That most ancient person, the personality of Godhead, will alone come to our rescue. What purpose can we serve on his behalf by deliberating on the subject? Now, Brahmaji very clearly is telling in the position of Krishna in this verse that he is the controller. Of what? The three modes of nature. What are the three modes of nature? Goodness, passion, and ignorance. And then he is saying that is only the Lord who is responsible for what? For the creation, preservation, and dissolution of the universe. So we are baffled, where did the universe come from? Big Bang theory, or we came from animals or monkeys, or how did this evolution happen? What's going to happen? The world is going to end soon. You know, there are theories also that the world will end. But now we can see it's all the Lord's plan. He's responsible for creation, preservation, and dissolution. Then now, his wonderful creative power, Yoga Maya, cannot be easily understood even by the masters of yoga. So Krishna is the greatest mystic. Krishna is the greatest mystic. There are many mystic yogis, but who's the greatest mystic? Is Krishna. And then the most ancient person. So now what it goes to say, who's the most ancient person? Is the Supreme Lord. Or why? Because he's the origin, from everything began. But he does not look old and has a white beard or white hair or shriveled up. No, Nava Yovana, looks always like a young boy. Now he will alone come to our rescue. And so Brahmaji is saying, it's the will of the Lord. By talking about it too much here, we don't need to waste our time. It's Krishna's plan. He's gonna protect us. It's Krishna's plan. It's not that he wants to kill the devotees just for his fighting spirit. No, Krishna organizes many things can happen by one pastime. There are many different purposes that can be fulfilled by one pastime of his. So when something is arranged by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one should not be disturbed by it, even if it appears to be a reverse according to one's calculations. For example, sometimes we see that a powerful preacher is killed, or sometimes he is put into difficulty, just as Haridas Thakur was. He was a great devotee who came into this material world to execute the will of the Lord by preaching the Lord's glories. But Haridas was punished at the hands of the Qazi by being beaten in 22 marketplaces. Similarly, Lord Jesus Christ was crucified and Prahlad Maharaj was put through so many tribulations. The Pandavas, who were direct friends of Krishna, lost their kingdom. Their wife was insulted and they had to undergo many severe tribulations. So here the Prabhupada is trying to explain to us what is Brahmaji trying to say. That, okay, when something's arranged by the Lord, we should not get too baffled, get too disturbed. Rather, we should try to understand what's the purpose behind it by approaching a devotee who understands. So Haridas Thakur, beaten in 22 marketplaces just because he's chanting Hare Krishna. Another person will say, I don't want to chant anymore, It's okay, I don't want to be beaten. Then Lord Jesus Christ, He says, love God, and so people kill him, his own people. What was his message? Just love God. And Prahlad Maharaj, he was telling his father, where you are getting your power from is you are not the most powerful. You are getting your power from the Supreme Lord. And because of that, Hiranyakashipu was torturing Prahlad in so many ways. Now, Pandavas, many people say, what, the Pandavas are pure devotees of Krishna. They're Krishna's, their friend. Why they had to go through so many difficulties? Whole life they had so many difficulties. Then, seeing all these reverses affect devotees, one should not be disturbed. One should simply understand that in these matters, there must be some plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Bhagavatam's conclusion is that a devotee is never disturbed by such reverses. He accepts even reverse conditions as the grace of the Lord. One who continues to serve the Lord, even in reverse conditions, is assured that he will go back to Godhead, back to the Vaikuntha planets. So the pure devotees, Haridas Thakur, when he's being lashed by the men of the Kazi, he's not feeling the whipping. He's not feeling it. Why? Because Lord Chaitanya is covering his body. And in fact, Lord Chaitanya was getting the whips. And what is Haridas Thakur at that time praying? My dear Lord, please forgive them. They don't know what they are doing. Please don't punish them. Same Lord Jesus Christ, when he's being crucified, my dear Lord, please forgive them, for they not know what they do. You know, so their love for Krishna is so much that all these physical difficulties don't even touch them. They don't even feel these difficulties because they are not on the bodily platform. Prahlad Maharaj, you know, when they were poking him with the arrows, with those tridents, Prahlad Maharaj was feeling that it's flowers. Krishna arranged it that way. So a pure devotee is fully under the protection of Krishna. A pure devotee, because Krishna personally protects them. And we can see in Pandava's case how Krishna personally would come. Oh, Durvasa Muni is come. He's going to curse my devotees. Let me come immediately and I'll just I'll eat one grain of rice and all 10,000 people will feel they're so full. Personal. Krishna is a person and he has a personal loving relationship with each of us. And of course, more so with the devotees because they're already situated in that relationship. So Lord Brahma assured the demigods that there was no use in talking about how the disturbing situation of darkness was taking place, since the actual fact was that it was ordered by the Supreme Lord. So Brahmaji is saying, don't waste time trying to speculate, oh, what's happening? There is darkness, what shall we do, what not to do? Brahmaji is saying, just, it's the plan of the Lord, you know, you continue doing your duty. Brahma knew this because he was a great devotee. It was possible for him to understand the plan of the Lord. So only the devotees can know the plan of the Lord. Krishna reveals himself to the devotees. Krishna reveals to anyone to the degree they surrender. What's that? Thank you. Yes, thank you. Ye yatamam prapadyante tamstateva bhajami aham. As you surrender to me, I reveal to you. And a devotee is completely surrendered to Krishna, so Krishna reveals his plan to the devotee. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 3rd canto, 16th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Two Doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, Jai and Vijay, cursed by the sages. Jai. So we finished the 16th chapter today. Anyone wanted to add anything else? Any comments, realizations? So in all respects, it's our self-interest if we follow the devotees. We try to become a devotee, try to hear and chant. Then be situated in our original position. It's all in our self-interest, and in that way we can help others. Brahmaji is a pure devotee, so he's able to guide demigods properly. If he was not a devotee and the demigods are taking consultation from him, because Brahmaji himself is confused, doesn't know what is happening, he would have created confusion for the demigods also. right? So we also want to help others. We should try to become devotees so we can actually help others, actually guide others. Yeah. So we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much. Sorry we went over time. Thank you so much for joining and reading. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.